Hi everyone, I'm Marizi and I'm here to do a quick demo of BountyFlow, an AI-assisted penetration testing platform. So, alright, let's get started by logging in first. Now, the platform supports multiple users with different roles, so if you're working with a team, everyone can have access and the work stays in one place. And once you're in, you land straight to the dashboard. Now, this is the dashboard, the first thing you see after you log in. Everything you need at a glance, how many projects you've got, how many targets, how many findings, how many tool executions you have run. So you can easily see at a glance when you've been most active and how the engagement is progressing. You'll also see the attack coverage, top attack patterns by category, micro attack coverage by phase, so you know which techniques you have landed. The sidebar also gives you direct access to everything: projects, targets, tools, workflows, security maps, and reports. So now, let's go to the projects. In here, you can easily create a new project with this button, but for this demo, I've got an existing one running up. So, think of a project as your engagement container. Every pen test has one. It holds your scope, your targets, your findings, your tool runs, everything. So when you come back next week after being pulled on something else, you're not trying to remember where you left things. Or when you hand it to a colleague, they're not starting from scratch, context intact. Everything we see in here belongs to this engagement and no mixing up between targets. So inside this project, you got your targets. These are just the IPs, domains, URLs, or whatever is in scope. Each one is tagged into this project, so when you run a tool, it knows which targets can only be selected. When you record the finding, it's all linked to the targets, so no more spreadsheets or text files that you get out of sync. Your scope all lives in this set of targets, and the platform knows exactly what you're testing. Other areas in this project include discovered users and discovered files, findings, tools, and reports. So for discovered users and files, it's just a basic list for note taking. You dump in the usernames that you discovered, including credentials, files that you've pulled, that kind of thing. Findings is where you record your vulnerabilities and link them to targets. As you can see here, some of these vulnerabilities are directly tied up to a specific target. And for the reports, we'll come back after this later. Well, this is just a place where you generate your final deliverable. And the most important one here are the tools. This is the list of commands or list of tools that you can actually execute right inside the platform. This is where the real work happens. So let me take you here. For the tools, you can add as many tools as you want. When creating here in this button, you specifically create a tool for this project, but you can also create it outside of this project by going back to this tab where you can see all the available tools that you have created. So right now everything was tied up to this project that you have created, but the most important part here is you can create a tool where you can reuse in every project so that you won't create again and again the specific command line parameters or the tools that you want to execute for every kind of engagement. Let's say you have nmap, you can just create one here and it can be reused on every project that you want to work on. Everything here can be, since everything is here, it is organized, and the real value comes on chaining it, which is about workflows, and we'll look at it later. So here's a sample of a tool that was executed. So let's find another good one. So let's say this one. So here is a sample of a tool that was executed, including its output. And for every tool that was configured, you can easily edit it if you need to. And for every run, you just click it and select the target that you want to. So this one holds a placeholder when you create one, and it allows you to have a dynamic set of variables for every command, just like the protocol that can be set, the target, the port, or the output file path that you want. As I've mentioned a while ago, another good thing here is the workflows, where you can chain the tools that you have just created. So let's say you wanted to create a chain where you do an initial scan, you do an SQL map after on a specific URL. You either go GoBuster to enumerate the domains, you enumerate the URL or endpoints. So you can easily create it here. We're just naming it demo workflow or any name that you want. And there you can just run it and select your target. So this may take for a while, but basically what it does is it allows you to execute a tool step by step, get its output, and execute your methodology seamlessly. The also important part here is you can see the history. As you have seen a while ago, we have executed a sample workflow where we view, and eventually we can view it back and see its output. And tying it back, we have just executed a workflow targeting a specific project and a target, so it also goes back to here in the projects and the tool executions. So it is all here. Now, next good thing about here is, since this is an AI assisted platform, everything here is being assisted by AI. So the first part here, aside from letting AI take note of everything, is the AI assisted chat. And this chat, it allows you to have a companion that assists you in every step of the way in the projects that you do. Think of this as your teammate that is taking note of everything and guiding you on what to do next. So we can ask it, what is a good step after all our executions? So this may take for a little bit of a while, but this chat will provide you a good set of actions that can be done next. So while waiting, of course, the platform allows you to also set the model or the AI platform that you want to use. So as of the moment, if you have configured it, you can use Claude, you can use Gemini, you can use OpenAI. So as I've mentioned a while ago, it has visibility on what has happened, which is why it has an accurate view of what could be done next. So right now it's suggesting that we should focus on exploiting the CVE, exploiting an SQL injection, leveraging the compromised credentials that we got, and moving further on some Active Directory activities. So chat is great for quick questions, but sometimes you need a big picture, which is why we have a security relationship map, which connects everything that has happened in this engagement. It contains the targets, the findings, discovered users, files, they're all set to nodes. And it also connects them based on the relationship that was discovered between them. Which target has which finding, how things relate, attack paths without you having to draw them out of your mind. And when you're tracking a complex engagement and you need to see the whole landscape, this is it. It's a graph that builds automatically from your project data. So here's a quick example. As we have mentioned, there is an SQL injection vulnerability. If you click a single node, it ties up to all the connections. It highlights the path. So as in here, we're clicking this num reference parameter, which starts from the vulnerability hosted on port 3000, which is, I believe, a web application. And there is a URL that points to an API bill, and SQL map was able to discover the num reference parameter with an SQL injection vulnerability. And again, this also ties up to the finding that we have written, which is about SQL injection. Another example is about the RocketMQ that was suggested by chat, as in here. As we can see in the node, the finding that we have written way back is here. And at the same time, if we click this node about CVE, it points out that it is connected to the RocketMQ service, which is running on these ports. Aside from that, other things that was executed in this demo, which is about this big node that is connecting almost every user that was discovered in the Active Directory environment. If we click one node, for example, this is about the John execution for cracking. Let's find a red one which might be very significant. So this one is about the user Peter, and there's a lot of nodes, so it might take a little bit of time. But anyway, let's go back to the next one. Again, security relationship map gives you an overview. But what if, aside from asking the AI for the next steps, we can also go to this AI recommendations, which gives you everything that you need, everything that you've done, and everything that you need for your next steps. So think about this. AI was able to get everything after you've given them all the output that you have done and all the tools that you have executed. So now it has all the information that he needs, that the AI needs, to give you an actual actionable next steps. So here it highlights all your findings. So it was able to categorize and rate the severity or risk rating for everything that you have discovered. First, it highlights the RocketMQ that was discovered, the SQL injection, the AES reprocessing vulnerabilities on both Active Directory domains, including the password that was seen, and other things. And aside from that, it also provides you recommendations on what could be done, and as well as the remediations that can be recommended on the receiving end of this testing. Aside from that, it also provides you the good next steps that can be done with the confidence level. So here is an example. The SQL map shows you some SQL map commands that suggests what needs to be done next. Aside from that, the CVE that was discovered and how to exploit it, the carpet roasting, AES reprocessing that was discovered, and what next steps could be done by leveraging the credentials that was seen. So everything here is about the quick answers that we can get and what could be done next. And as you can see here, all the recommendations comes with the priority, confidence, and rationale. It's like having a senior pen tester assessing you what to do next. And last but not the least, and the most important part here, is the report generation. So AI assisted us with the chat as a companion, mapping for context, recommendations for next steps, and when it's time that we have done all of these, our next thing to do is to generate and summarize everything that was done in a single report. With one click, you can just generate what has happened during the engagement without spending a lot of time wrestling, formatting in a Word document. And all the heavy lifting is done for you by AI. Focus on testing analysis, and report becomes a task that takes minutes instead of a full day. So this can be exported in different ways that you want. Could be a markdown, HTML, and a PDF. In a sample view of a technical report that was generated by AI, highlights every step, including an executive summary, methodology that was done, list of scope and targets, and of course the findings for every step that was discovered. Last but not the least, of course, the tool executions also gives you an overview of what was seen. And the most important part and the most very useful for the receiving end of these reports are the recommendations. These recommendations are very actionable and very tailored fit based on the actual output that was seen by AI. So as you can see here, it's all about securing the RocketMQ vulnerability that was seen and additional steps that can be done to secure the target network. And I think that is it for BountyFlow. So a quick recap, BountyFlow allows you to see what is happening through the dashboard, encapsulating things that are happening in a single project so that it doesn't cross-pollinate what is happening for everything that you do. You set the tools that can be executed for every target. You generate workflows, which allows you to chain the tools. You see security relationship map to have an overview of what has happened in every step of the way, which gives you a very high level overview of the relationships of each discovery and the target. AI recommendations allows you to see what could be done next. And last but not the least, report generation, which allows you to easily generate a report that is very useful, that can be used and as your output for your exercise. And I guess that's it for BountyFlow. And with that, that's it.